Well, first of all, thank you all for joining this breakout session. That is on the digital farm, the use of the digital farm book for advanced data management and monitoring for CAP strategic plans. There are three people presenting this session: David Sánchez and Marta Moro, who works in the Spanish Agrarian Guarantee Fund, FIGA. That is the coordination body belonging to the National Ministry of Agriculture. And well, they can explain it better later on. And myself, Alberto Gutiérrez, I'm working in ITACyL, in Technological Institute of Castilla y León, that is a region in Spain. So, okay, let me first give you a first view, brief view of the agenda for this session. First, we give some introduction on to frame the use of this, to frame this tool, the Digital Farm Book, within Tools4CAP project. Then we move on and we explain how the Digital Farm Book is integrating in a system called the Agrarian Holding Information System, CS, that integrates this Digital Farm Book among many other data sources. This is and David and Marta are in charge of the system, so who was better to explain us this topic. And then the finally two parts are related to how the Digital Farm Book collects data and how this data can be used for evaluating some intervention in the strategic plan. So let's move on and first give you an idea on of the Digital Farm Book within the Tools4CAP context. Daniele presented this slide before, and just to say that the Digital Farm Book was identified as one of the tools within the category monitoring and data collection tools. In this sense, this tool was identified in Spain, where entire regulation has been developed, and this regulation aims to develop an entire system called the Agrarian Holding Information System, in Spanish is called CX, within the Digital Farm Book is integrated. So we have in the meeting the people in charge of this system. So David, Marta, the floor is yours. So please go ahead.
Hi to everybody. Good morning. My name is David, and me and Marta, we belong to the Spanish Agrarian Guarantee Fund, which is the coordination body of the CAT ACE here in Spain. I will present you briefly the CS project and how it's related with the information from the digital field book. Okay, let's go to the next. Okay, as you can see in the index, we have 6 different parts in the presentation. The first 2 parts, I'm in charge of the presentation. What is the CS project about? How is the farm registry and the digital field book? After that, I will give the floor to Marta to continue to the next points. What is the CS project about? If we consider a national system, the CS project tries to integrate in a digital way all of the information sources provided by the agricultural, livestock, and forestry sector, and also work in this national platform with interoperability and standardization way. The most important information sources is the farm registry and the digital field book. Sources that will be provided by the regions in Spain. Today we will focus to the digital field book information and how we can manage all of the information to provide indicators. What are the three objectives of the project? We have the main object is the CAP indicator. We use all of the information of the system and combining with different algorithms to provide this type of indicator. We have a second objective about the simplification of and reduce the administrative burden for the farmers. And a third objective related with the analysis of information provided by the farmer to principally designing policies, better policies, and the farm management directly to the farmer. Now, you can see the digital ecosystem or the digital environment of the CS project. For one part, we have the coordination body part of the project, who include also the CS platform. As you can see there, how we can use all of the information of the system to make the indicators. And also make an exploration of the information. In the national component of the project, we have all of the information, agricultural, livestock, and forestry sources, who coming directly from the other national database. If we go to the regional part or regional component of the project, we have the digital field book and the farm registry, also related with the farmer and all the private solution who will be provided by the private companies. We call this solution commercial solution or QE, commercial QE. Going directly to the farm registry of the digital field book, to explain better the farm registry, we have to consider that in the registry, in the 17 registries, autonomous communities in Spain, we have information about where the farmer produce and what the farmer produce. Information of alphanumerical and graphical information. And we consider this type of information in two levels. At farm level, you can see here what type of information we collect at farm level. For example, GL estimation, information about the buildings and facility is who has and the farmer in the farm, information about machinery, all general farm data. And if we consider area level, the information who is referenced directly to the graphic unit in the project, in this case is the DGG, and the limitation of the crops, we can consider information at a farm registry level, which is, for example, watering point for human use, vinegar register, all the area data who establish again where is the farm and what are the crops that the farmer produce. To understand well how is the DGG, the delimitación gráfica de cultivo, crop delimitation graphic unit, we can explain using this slide. If we consider the reference parcel that we have in Spain, which is called recinto, and the reference parcel who provide the landscape information system, the LPs, we can define this geographical unit as a area used for a certain crop at a given farmer and the same farm system, rain feed or irrigation system. And all of these graphical units are inside the reference parcel in Spain. We use this type of reference unit for understand which type of crops are inside the reference parcel for each campaign. Going directly to the information from digital fieldbook is the information about how the farmer produce, information about the phytosanitary treatment, soil management, and we have also information at farm level and area level. For example, information at farm level, if we consider the register of all the treatment inside the buildings or post-harvest treatment on vegetable products, and if we consider the area level information that we have in our digital fieldbook is information about general crop data, fertilization, energy use, etc. But in the single parcel that we have in our reference unit. We create an ecosystem, an environment who can the farmer use not only the public digital fieldbook, we provide and facilitate the integration with all of the private solution. In Spain right now we have 48 digital commercial fieldbook. You can see here the name of this commercial solution, and we can see Satibum as one of the commercial solution that Alberto are going to explain you after our presentation. How can integrate all of these private solutions using the common interface? It's an interface who communicate the information between the farm registry in the 17 regions in Spain and the private solution. In this way, we can have different solutions for the farmers. We include a collaboration at the public and the private sector, and we can use all of the agrotests as a technology drivers to boost in the field the different digital solution. All of the information not only going from the farm registry to the private solution, also return to the public administration to analyze in the CS platform. Finally, previously to give the floor to Marta, I want to show you how can collect and create an indicator for, in this example, the plant protection product. And this is a screenshot from the CS platform. And you can see, for example, how can calculate the information of the PPP indicator, plant protection product, for each crop in the farm. This is real information. We remove all the personal data. For example, we can consider here and farm total area 27.36 hectares with this type of crops, wet, follow land, sunflower, etc. And we can calculate the indicator of use of phytosanitary treatment for single crop in the farm, and we can calculate also a total PPP indicator by farm.
So I will continue with point 3, which is the main project stages, just to show you the timeline of the CX project. We find the project started in mid-2020 with a huge research and analysis of the data sources that integrate CX. Then mid-2021, we started integrating just agricultural data, farmer data, crop area varieties, And we still now continue consolidating what we already have and making improvements. Beginning of this year, 2024, we started with livestock data to integrate number of animals, breeder data, breeds, and also sanitary data. And our target is for the next year started with data analyze to make statistics and indicators with all we have now in CX. About regulation, we have tried to summarize in this slide our main elements for the CX project. You see here our core law, which is the Royal Decree from December 2022. In here, in this Royal Decree, we find all the information related to CX, the objectives of the project, definitions. We have also a chapter for the farm registry and digital fieldbook. As David said there are quite important data sources, and also the update frequency for each. Also, other aspects that are quite important is the sharing and the access to this data as well. Then we have a legal order from our ministry in which we have basically the timeline for the integration sources and what type of data the farm registry and the digital fieldbook content. And last, we also have like a legal decision in which we cover IT aspects mainly. At the beginning of the project, when the regulation was published, a digital fieldbook was mandatory for everyone later or sooner. But as you know, beginning of this year, we have a massive protest from the agri-food sector, expressing concern about several aspects, international trade, banned phytosanitary products, imbalances in the food chain. And also here in Spain, the digital fieldbook was also a concern for the sector because it seems as a control tool for them. So after that, here in Spain, our ministry decided to make it voluntary, both the use and the sharing of the data. So we have modified our royal decree. So now we are pending to this approval and to be published this modification. But European legislation as well. We have this legal regulation that say to us that the content and the format of the record of PPP will be electronically recorded by the 1st of January 2026. So for us, it's quite important to push the digital fieldbook. So now, within the framework of CAP 8 2023-2027, we are trying to push some kind of seminars and training courses to promote the digital fieldbook. For farmers and advisors, we have this aid within the intervention of knowledge exchange and training, which is co-financing by FEDER. And our ministry considers digital fieldbook strategic, so at least 1.5 million euros will go in this direction. So we want to talk to you about our CX web portal. All of you can access. There are quite interesting information. Some of them is a technical document, both agriculture and livestock. And in those documents, you can find all the fields we have integrated in CX. here I put a screenshot about the content in the digital field book and in colors, because we here in the technical document we express which fields are mandatory depending on what legislation. So in black we find that is mandatory by the digital field book, but in green and orange if it is related to the CAP. Some fields are in purple, that means are voluntary to fill out by the farmers. Also, we want to present you our standardized code list. They are quite our project cornerstone. And now we have 106 standardized updated code lists. We find different types depending if it is agriculture, livestock, or they are more common. Just an example, this is our crop list, code list, and we are trying to go beyond and trying to internationally make them international. So we are now including some codes from European and Mediterranean Plant Protection Organization, but also the scientific names and International Union for Protection of New Varieties. These are just some examples of how we are making them international. Also, we are participating in the new committee of the International Standardization Organization called Data Driven Agri-Food System, which try to, in a voluntary way, to create standards for all the data that we generate through the agri-food chain. Here in Spain, we have created a national committee equivalent to, let's say, channeling and defending the Spanish position. And just some conclusions or some lessons learned. CX is a really ambitious and complex project, so we really recommend high level of cooperation, not only within the ministry, but also with regions and agri-food sector. Standardization is key from the very beginning for trade, for comparatives, and design efficient policies. As I said, farmer rejects this tool as it seems as a control of, for increasing penalties for them. So we need to push diffusion, training, and advice to reverse this perspective and the message no data, no strategy at all. And of course, simplification for the farmer life to simplify this administrative burden. So that's all. Thank you very much. We have left our email address in case you have doubts.
After this view of the CX system and the regularity framework, the following parts of the session will be given following two approaches. The first approach is from the farmer point of view. So we're pretending that we are farmers and we are fulfilling the requirements of the digital farm book. I'm talking about digital farm book. David and Marta call it digital field book, so it's the same. So there is no problem about no chatter. And the second point of view is going to be from the point of view of an evaluator who needs to implement the evaluation of some measures or some intervention in the strategic plan. So as for the first part, the point of view of the farmers, we are using a farm management information system. David introduced it before. It's called Satimun. She has considered it as a commercial one because it follows the same rules, but it's developed by ITACyL, so it's a kind of public development, so everyone can access to this system. And we briefly present some general capabilities of not only for this farm management information system, but for all of them. And then we see how farmers introduce the required data in the digital farm book. So, and we are focusing in on plant protection products recording. So let's move on. Well, I have some slides here, but I think we'd better use the actual system. So this is what a farmer can see when he enter in the system. And in this case, I have one holding with 4. Let me put it in English. Okay, it's more understandable here. With 4 plots in the holding. So we could go to the parcels. The first idea of FMIS is that it can connect with several data sources. In this case, we are connecting to the LPIS system. David also introduced this concept in his presentation. So we get the geographical boundaries of the parcel. So the farmers can have it in the system. So this is the first key idea, is that it can connect with the administrative databases. So that this is not the only data sources that a farm management information system can be used. The other one is that it can connect to different data sources. Let's say that it can connect to static data sources to get information about the climate in this area. For instance, the average annual rainfall, the type of soil in the plot, and in this case is clay loamy soil, and the information about the altitude of the parcel and the area of that parcel. So let's say that this information is quite static, but it can also connect to retrieve some more dynamic information. For instance, we can connect with a meteorological data network network to collect the information about maximum and minimum temperatures and the amount of rainfall. I think you can see here these blue bars along the timeline. So this is dynamic information. It changes from day to day. So this is one of the type of the information we can get, and we also can retrieve information about the vegetation status of the parcel. So in this case, we are obtaining this information from servicing providing data, remote sensing data. So in this case, among others, we can get information about one of the most used vegetation indices is the MDVI, that give us an idea of the development of the vegetation. So if we, for example, we go here in this season, there are 3 seasons in this timeline. If we go to this season and we start here, we can see that there is a bare soil in this plot. So perhaps the sowing has took place in this around this date, and as we can see, the vegetation start to grow and grow till it gets its maximum vegetation development, and we can see here how it's performing, how the crop is performing, and we can see here some areas in the plot that are not very or so well developed than the other ones. So perhaps this could inform the farmers there is a problem there, or perhaps he or she knows perfectly what's going on in this part of the parcel. So we move on, and we can see how the vegetation decrease till the end of the season. and here be end of June, beginning of July, that probably the harvest took place. So this is a kind of the kind of information that the farmers can benefit from this type of technology, the farm management information system. But I want to focus on the requirements of the digital farm book. So in this case, with this button, we can get the information of the requirements of the digital farm book. We have three main blocks. We can record the agricultural practices that the farmers has carried out in the plot. We can also give or get information about the nutrient plants. So this block is related to their farm sustainability tool promoted by the European Commission that helps farmers to make a better nutrient balance in this parcel to avoid loss of nitrogen or potassium, whatever. So this is apart from being I think this is a very important block for helping farmers. And the last block is about the plant protection product treatments. So here I'm going to focus on this part. So let me go back to my. No, let me go back here and pretend I'm a farmer who are entering a new plant protection plan for my plot. So let's imagine that we are entering a phytosanitary treatment. We know that this parcel is 9.3 hectares, but perhaps we don't need to treat all of them. Perhaps we need to treat only 4 hectares. So can this? We are growing barley, and here we can identify the type of illness or disease we have in our plot. So let's say that we have this species infestation. This is a common weed in cereal crops, and then we have to choose the commercial product we are using. For instance, we are using this product Trinity, and the system informs us about that this product is can be used in barley crops, so this is fine for us, and we have to enter the dose we are using. So in this case, no, sorry, it's not the details here. So we have this information here coming from. We have this information here, and we know that this is the maximum doses. So we can decide treat with less than this dose. So perhaps we can use just 1 liter per hectare. So the interesting thing here is that the system is connected right now to the registry of authorized pesticide products in Spain. So right now, this information comes from that database. And I want to stress here that this thing that a product can be composed by 1, 2, or many active ingredients. This is important, and I present it later on in the session. So, so up to now, we are fulfilled the requirements for pesticides treatment in our plot, and we decide to communicate this information to the administrative database, so to CX. So with this button, the farmer send that information to the official digital farm books. So now the information is in the administrative database. So let's move on the presentation, because I need to explain the other part of the presentation. Is the point of view of the evaluator who needs to use this information, the information collected at farm level by the digital farm book, to make some evaluation of any intervention of some interventions in the strategic plan. So let me tell you that we are also running a case study within Tools4CAP that is aimed at using the outputs of a agroeconomic model for evaluating, in this case, the sustainable use of pesticides. In this case, we are collaborating with our partners in Tools4CAP from EUCARD, who are in charge of developing and running a Capri model, one of the most well-known agroeconomic models. So the idea here is that we have data collected at farm level from the FMIS that implements the digital farm book, and this information, as we have seen in a previous slide, is communicated to the administrative database. When this information is here in the administrative database, an evaluator could be placed here around in the middle, so would need access to this database. So, and he also would need make some adaptation of this data to make them useful for the as input for the model. So this procedure needs to be done as well. So in this regard, the case study is aimed at one of things that Daniele presented in his presentation. Is the tools are not working in isolation, but the outputs or one tool can be the inputs for another tool. So this is the case. We are using the outputs of the digital farm books as input for the agroeconomic model. So going back to our general workflow, let me say that we, as for this academy module, we stop here. We are not going into that part of the Capri model. So this is will be done later on in the project. And the second thing that I want to stress here is that since the mechanism to obtain the data from the administrative database is not implemented yet, we use a proxy for this data, and we are using the data stored in the database, in the FMIS providers database. So the idea here is that as the digital farm book follows the rules of the regulation, the obstacles or the barriers we are coming across with this data will be pretty similar or the same as if we use the data coming from the administrative databases. So we can extract some conclusions about that. So making that remark, we get this information. The information we get is has two blocks. The first block is the parcel related information. We have the area that has been treated, for instance, and the second part is the product related information. In this part, we have the type of product, the commercial name, the active ingredient, the percentage of active ingredient, the dose applied in this area. So we can compute the total kilograms of active ingredient used per hectare. So this is one of the things that we had to do in this case. And the other thing is that, as I presented before, a commercial product can be composed by several active ingredients, sorry. So to perform the analysis we want to perform, that is based on the individual active ingredients, we have to break down this information, these registers. So when this is done, here we try to use this information as input for Capri model, but when we talk to our partners in Eurocare, they suggested us that they need include the type of pesticides, whether it is an herbicide, an insecticide. So in this case, we have to really? Oh. What should I do, Maite?
No, we can follow.
Okay,
I think,
thank
sorry,
you.
I don't know what happened.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have to go back to the National Registry of Pesticides and classify the register, the active ingredients we have in the database. So, and the other thing they ask us to do is to assign a unique identifier to each active ingredient. So we, in this case, we have to go back to the DigiSanti database. That is a database collecting or storing all active substances in Europe. So once we have this, we have all this information jointly in the database in that table, and now we can start to make to ask some question about this data. Quickly, just to make a kind of disclaimer of the information I'm presenting following is that all the data has been anonymized perfectly previously to use them, and the data are coming from voluntary farmers. So these data are for sure biased. So we can't extract conclusions on the global entire population of the Spanish farmers. So these data are kind of biased, so we can't extract any conclusion from them. So we were here, and then we can ask some question about how many distinct plant protection products there are, and what are the most widely grown products in the region. What is the most used active ingredient, and in which crops these products have been applied. So there's a very preliminary study and some final remarks. This academy model has presented a methodology for employing the data collected at farm level by the Digital Farm Book as a mean of evaluate the pesticide use. The methodology highlights the need of kind of formatting the data to be useful as input for agroeconomic models. One thing, very important thing, is that the methodology do not include any cross-validation. So we have to figure out how to do that. For instance, we can cross-check this information with the PPP market in the market. So, and another key idea here is to link this data. So to quantify the impact of a certain intervention, we have to link this information with the ITACyL system, with the actual farmers that are applying for a certain aid, addressing this reduced pesticides use. So this is all for my part.